of Christ to action and greater levels of faith. Before pastoring, Dr. Bryant served as the National Youth and College Director of the NAACP for 6 years, where he helped to mobilize over 70,000 youth worldwide in nonviolent campaigns. Dr. Bryant incites change in faith community. His ability to reach across social, economic, and political barriers has helped people to not only experience the life-changing gospel of Jesus Christ, but to activate success in their everyday lives. He has become an incubator for entrepreneurs, homeowners, and the like. Programs under his guidance have aimed to spread the gospel, develop strong leaders, empower the economic disadvantaged, and challenge social injustices. His ministry expands beyond the walls of the church. Do you agree, New Birth Missionary Church? He is the face for countless protests that work to inspire the next generation of world leaders. Dr. Bryant leads the charge for racial, economic, and social injustice. It is my pleasure and honor to introduce to some and present to others my Morehouse brother, Pastor Dr. Jamal H. Bryant, a true Morehouse fan. Y'all give it up for Dr. Jamal H. Bryant.
Thank you. Happy Juneteenth to all of you. I am honored and humbled and grateful. I'm tired just for the introduction. Thank you so very much, Brother Barksdale. Let me take a moment and extend blessings to all of my Christian brothers and sisters, my brothers and sisters of the Nation of Islam. Assalamu alaikum. I'm grateful for you. For those in the community hotel, and to those of y'all who don't believe in nothing, what's up? Let me, I really appreciate Brother Bill Allen for being a visionary. To see this dream come to pass is absolutely amazing. Most people in Black history, we only speak of after death. But to have a living history with us is an amazing, monumental achievement, and I want to really give him his flowers while he can still smell them. Could you help me salute and celebrate? A day behind, but I really want to underscore the value and the importance of Black fathers. And so even the day after, let me salute and give high commendation to the fathers who are here amongst us. Would you join me, mothers and children? Let's salute and celebrate the Black fathers. Thank you. I really wrestled and grappled with my assignment on today. Matthew, thank you for having me. I really want to go backwards in my presentation today to talk about the dysfunctional relationship between Black people and holidays. The dysfunctional relationship between Black people and holidays. I want to submit to you that I do not know over the last 400 years if Black people have ever earnestly celebrated a holiday. I want to unpack for you why I don't think that we have, and explore why we need to. I don't know if, even as I look across this gathering today, and one of our dear brothers who served nobly in the military, I'm not sure whether or not we can really say that we've celebrated Veterans Day. I don't know whether you realize that America has not had one militaristic infraction that Black people were not on the front line. to know that for democracy, that it was in fact Crispus Attucks found his blood streaming. Even going to the Civil War, African Americans were enlisted because they knew that they could not win without our presence. That even as late as Friday, I need you to hear this, Mr. Allen, on Friday, they have changed the requirements to serve in the military here in the United States. That as of Friday, in an emergency order, they have now allowed illegal immigrants to now enlist in the Army under a new program, hear this, called the Path for Citizenship. So after 6 weeks of basic training, your citizenship is now expedited because they cannot get people to enroll. Can you imagine that the GI Bill was not available for our grandfathers, and that it was written that why in the world would they go to Japan and go to Germany when in neither of those places were they ever called a nigger? It wasn't until they came back home with a uniform on that they were spit on and not given access for their children to take advantage of higher education or to go into debt because of what was not made available to them. The father of gentrification and the redlining of zip codes was a gentleman whose name may not sound familiar at the beginning, but all the more will ring familiar at the end. His name was a gentleman by the name of John Trump. John Trump then segmented housing in New York so that returning veterans could not have access to public housing because he believed, hear this, far away from the South in New York, that blacks should not have access to affordable and equitable housing. And you are now seeing the seeds of that contaminated germination in the son, Donald J. Trump, whose middle name bears the first name of his father. How do we celebrate Veterans Day when our veterans still do not have adequate mental health care, are still suffering with PTSD, and in an equitable way found themselves strung out on heroin after serving in Vietnam, and still pledge allegiance? And African Americans have never been found guilty of burning the flag. Our only charge was taking a knee. And yet we're supposed to put one hand over our chest and salute veterans who did never receive the inalienable rights of life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. Can we in good conscience, Matthew, celebrate President's Day, knowing that an erroneous lie was told that Abraham Lincoln freed the slaves, hear this, under duress, not under altruism. That he was going to win the war, save the Union, and preserve his presidency. Because it was under his reign, hear this, that they had the first Census Bureau data, that if in fact we use the African American population, then the North will have enough votes to be able to have authority in the House and in the Senate. You ought to pause and figure out why it is that Barack Obama broke up the string that all presidents, I need you to hear this, had to come from the South. John Fitzgerald Kennedy broke up that mantra by unifying, here it is, the question movement of the 1960s to ask why. So from Bill Clinton all the way to the Bushes to now strategically, I don't want you to miss it, the Bible says our people die from a lack of knowledge. Why it is that Trump would change residency from New York to Florida, because you need the Southern base in order to win. How do we celebrate President's Day? I'm not sure, Madam President, of the concerned Black clergy, how in good conscience we celebrate Thanksgiving. Knowing how it is that our Native American brothers and sisters, out of their graciousness, taught pilgrims how to farm, how to build, how to understand what an ecosystem was, how it is that you use natural medicine to heal sickness when there was no pharmaceutical industry. And given in exchange was blankets that were infested with smallpox, then the taking of their land. Maybe you're not paying attention to the fact that the lottery system is in fact programmed towards Negroes and Latinos, but we are not seeing the benefit of it. Maybe you're not paying attention to the fact that even the Native Americans who run casinos do not have authority over their profits. It has to go through a trust fund, and then the Senate gives oversight as to how much is given in allocation. So when you see the tables that come from the Department of Labor about how it is that African Americans are living in abject poverty, they talk about blacks, whites, Asians, Black, Latinos, and never list Native Americans as a part of the population. When it is in fact and in earnest, they lead in illiteracy. They lead in absence of health care. They lead in addiction. And yet they are not receiving the services they're supposed to have. And yet we're celebrating Thanksgiving. Do we in earnest, claiming to be a Christian nation, celebrate Christmas? When Jesus was born in March, but we celebrate his birth in December. I'm not sure how it is as thinking beings that we are celebrating the gift of gold, frankincense, and myrrh, but never dealing with teenage pregnancy and homelessness. Knowing that Mary and Joseph were between the ages of 14 and 16, and they could not get into an Airbnb, could not get into a hostel, could not get into Doubletree or the Marriott, but had to be born in a barn. The Son of the living God could not find housing, hear this, when Joseph had a job. Nobody in the Black church celebrates blue-collar workers when his adoptive father never had a college degree. Something is wrong and something is broken, that we don't know where is a holiday to be celebrated. Abolitionists out of my home state of Maryland, Frederick Douglass, asked the critical question that African Americans used to have to memorize, and that is, what to the Negro is the 4th of July? Yeah. Yet y'all walking around wearing red, white, and blue, and we can't pay you to put on red, black, and blue. Because we don't know what a holiday is supposed to look like. There's a French aristocrat who was over the penal system in France. Those of you who went to political science courses, that you know Alex de Tocqueville. And he wrote a book in 1853 entitled Democracy in America. And in that book, Democracy in America, he gave 3 prophetic predictions in the 1800s. His first prediction in the 1800s is that the 2 superpowers of the planet would be America and Russia. This is in the 1800s. Isn't it amazing that we just signed for over $31 billion worth of aid to the Ukraine, but cannot even put on the floor a conversation about reparations? It's not out of our graciousness, but because we do not want that level of authority and power to go to somebody who is a sworn enemy. The second prophecy by Alexis de Tocqueville is that the working class would rise up and question the ideals of the Constitution. Those of you who have not been paying attention, please go back and see what happened on January 6th. On January 6th, these were not the oligarchs. These were not the wealthy. These were not the 1%. But it was the working class who felt threatened because they are seeing the emergence of your children. They are seeing your children not just going to Howard and going to Morehouse and going to Clark, but they're now graduating from Georgia Tech and graduating from UGA. Y'all not saying anything to it. The third prediction of Alex de Tocqueville in 1863 in his work, Democracy in America. Hear this, his third prophecy is the only one that was wrong. His third prophecy was that there would be no place for African Americans in America. 1863, he declared they would either all be dead, all be shipped back to Africa, or would only occupy the working class. I said all of that as the preamble for where it is that we are today, to celebrate Juneteenth. We have been given a hand to shake while being slapped in the face. I am embarrassed, Mr. Allen, that while it is that we are dealing with gentrification and calling for access to capital and the funding of HBCUs, abject poverty and subpar reading levels and the underpaying of those who are just trying to feed their families, that in this, the first time that we fit for slaves. Let me just let you have somebody sing. Let me just let you have somebody perform. Let me just bring out people to dance. Because if we give them enough entertainment, they won't pay attention that they're not being empowered. So we have come for this celebration of Juneteenth at the new Black Wall Street Market. And I wanted to thank Mr. Allen for not bringing a choir. I want to thank Mr. Allen for not bringing a drum team. I want to thank Mr. Allen for not bringing dancers. I want to thank him for bringing 100 businesses. This day is not a day of entertainment. This is a day of self-empowerment. In case you didn't realize it, this day, Juneteenth, is America's real Independence Day. Martin Luther Jr. said, none of us are free until all of us are free. Injustice anywhere is a threat to justice everywhere. And so the 4th of July is a lie. We are not independent until we are free to buy property, until we are free to start businesses, until we are free to put our children through college, until we are free to leave a legacy for the generation that is behind us. And so tonight, if you come back here at 9 o'clock, there will be no fireworks because the real work starts on Tuesday. Let's keep the fire burning and realize there's a generation that is coming behind us who is looking to answer the question from the book of Psalms. How do we sing the Lord's song in a strange land? We have got to celebrate because night is coming when no man can work. But while we are yet alive, let's move so the next generation will know we are not looking for symbolic freedom. We're looking for substantive independence. God bless you. Thank you so much.
You can do better than that, man. Whoa, 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 whoa. God bless you, Dr. Brian. Wow. Wow, yes, sir. I love every bit of that. Did we learn something from that? Come on now. Now, come on, Matthew Hampton. Let's see how we can bring this home.
Man, you preached the word. You preached the word. And you did it quick, too. You know, Mr. Allen always talks about how we are ignorant economically. And you brought that home that we got to look at the economics of situations. And so, again, you always deliver a message that's worthy of this entire country. Listen, y'all give it up. There's just so much that we can do. And I didn't know that Mr. Allen was going to bring the staff up. But when we have this opportunity to bring you all together, we always want to honor, and we kind of pass it around to honor different staff members at different times. And so just very quickly, where's Lord Hester? Okay, come on, Lord. We wanted to honor the president of, would you go ahead and get the plaque for me, Lord? I ain't got you up here just to be banner now. But we wanted to, Lord has been a member of the Concerned Black Clergy, and as we start talking about our push to work with the church family, and work with the church community, we wanted to present awards to Reverend Shannon E. Jones. He's not here today, but what I would like to do is have a representative on behalf of Reverend Jones. Please come forward and accept this award. The New Black Wall Street Market would like to recognize the Concerned Black Clergy for their support of our community and for their leadership in support of Black-owned businesses at our Juneteenth 2023 award ceremony.
Okay, what I'd like to say is, he said I've been a member, I've been inactive for the last couple of years because I've been here, and on Mondays I'm here working. But for 40 years, this organization has stood as a vanguard for us as a people, for the poor, the rich, our culture, and our heritage. And I want to thank y'all for coming out and being a part of this function. Thank you for allowing me to be a part.
Well, hello, my name is Sophia Burns. I serve as the Executive Director for the Concerned Black Clergy, standing in place for our President, Reverend Shannon E. Jones, who is the past executive pastor of Ebenezer and the pastor of the Gathering Spot. I just love, this is my first time being here, and I feel the energy of this prophet right here. He reminds me of Moses. He's going to let our people go. And there's something else that when he got up, when he acknowledged his wife, he reminds me of that poet. I don't know if you know his name is James Brown. And he said, this is a man's world, but it ain't nothing without a woman or a girl. So on behalf of the Concerned Black Clergy, who was founded 40 years this year around the missing and murdered children, when clergy decided to come out of the walls of the church and start impacting those things that were contaminating our community. We continue to do that work today. And we encourage you to be a friend of Concerned Black Clergy. This year is 40 years. And we're asking 2,023 people to donate $40. Why? Before I came here today, I went by my office, and there was a woman and her children in their car. And they said, I thought and I could come today to give assistance because we're getting ready to be evicted. It's a lot that's going on that everybody don't see. Concerned Black Clergy are your hidden figures of Atlanta. And there's a lot of work that's being done, and we need you. We need your prayers, we need your resources, and we need your knowledge. So thank you on behalf of the Concerned Black Clergy of Metropolitan Atlanta. And I close, our motto is, you don't have to be clergy, you don't have to be Black, but you do have to be concerned. Thank you.
We have a few other awards. One of the things that we want to recognize our staff and leaders here of the organization is our Champion for Entrepreneurs Award. And so this holiday, we'd like to recognize Mrs. Jamila Palmer. Jamila is our accountant. And as we told you, she's been working extra hard. And so we want to recognize you, Jamila. Y'all give it up for Ms. Jamila Palmer, our accountant. A lot of these folks are oftentimes behind the scenes, and so we want to recognize you and thank you for all of your diligent work with our organization. You can't mess up the hair, okay. Jamila, no, you got to stand here for a second, we got to take a picture. Also, this young man has been doing a great job. He brought the house together yesterday. I told Mr. Allen, trying to manage him, he fussed at me about something. And I said, Mr. Allen, trying to manage that boy like trying to herd a cat. He gonna do what he wanna do. He said, Mr. Allen at the end of the conversation gonna tell me, you need to look at yourself. He acting like you. But we want to recognize Mr. Ruben Barksdale. Mr. Barksdale. And before he gets too far away, this young man has been working with us. He's actually walking away. Olalade, come back. We want to recognize this young man. He came all the way from Nigeria. We have been working very diligently to get our sales team together and some very special projects together. And he left his family and he extended his stay because he saw the importance of what we're doing. So Olalade Otoma from Nigeria. I'm trying to recognize him. We want to get our 3 champions of entrepreneurship. Can we get a picture real quick? And then this time I have one other award I wanted to, some of our contractors, come on up front real quick, we'll get that picture. Okay. Now, there's another award, I call it our Freedom Fighters. And the reason I call them our Freedom Fighters is because one, this was Juneteenth, and the work that they do, they're not part of our staff, but they work on kind of a contract basis. But I've been seeing these folks really be concerned about the market, really enhancing our social media presence. And so I'd like to recognize one of the young people that's a part of our social media and marketing team. I don't see him right now, but somebody go find him for me. Is Mr. Sam Cheeks. He's a student from Arabia Mountain. And if you all can find him for me, that'd be great. I don't need Benito, but I wanted to also recognize this young man, Benito Calcador. Mr. Benito has been a part of our team. He's working on right now. He's got the camera in his hand. Somebody gonna have to grab your camera so he can come take a picture of you. And then this young man also has been working with our radio program and also just fitting in and filling in wherever we needed him with our social media team. And that's Mr. Breon Thomas. Is Breon here? Yeah. There you go, it's right there. I'm the camera people, I work the campus. And I was hoping we could get Sam down here quickly. I think he's downloading content. I didn't want to tell him they were getting the award, but I told him to stay close. We'll go ahead and get Mr. Allen. We'll just get a picture with you two real quick.
All right. Every multi-talented here.
All right. Well, maybe we get the young man down here. We'll recognize him when he gets here. But other than that, Mr. Allen, we wanted to have closing comments from you, and then we'll finish up for this session for Juneteenth.
Again, I would like to thank everybody for coming. I am, again, want to say that we are excited to build a relationship with the concerned clergy. Of course, our good friend and my adopted godson, he said I finally recognize him. Dan, somebody, you recognize all over the country. Anyway, I must tell this story because Oh, okay. Um, there are people who just talk, 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 and there are people who step up.
Yes.
So some years ago, when the idea that I told you that came to do the new Black Wall Street, actually International Village, which we haven't gotten to that, but if the Lord be our helper, we're going to get there. We're going to build a whole village again. This is just the market. So when I had a conversation with Dr. Bryant, before I could get it out, he said, I'm with you. I'm with you. And to me, to have someone of his stature, of his caliber, to continuously, not just one time, support us. You all need to give it up for a round of applause. Because here's a man who's actually put his mouth. He's put his action, not just mouth. We appreciate it so much. But I want every clergy, I want every denomination, when you see the what's up people, the Nation of Islam, there are several of these merchants that are part of the Nation of Islam, okay? Our community as Black people is made up of everybody. And so therefore, I want to say to the ministerial, not just the concerned clergy, but if this goes on social media, we welcome, we embrace, and we've not only had just Dr. Bryant here, we've had other churches here, and we're not going to be satisfied until we get every Black, predominantly Black church in here involved in recognizing, if you all look back and look up to that sign, that's one of my Alanisms. I said to the Black Caucus a year and a half ago, you all may not like what I'm going to say. I know you keep getting people excited about jobs, jobs, jobs. I said, that's good. Needing a job, all you have to look at your paycheck, you know you're good. But somebody needs to tell us, as a part of the freedom, the word is ownership, ownership, ownership. Say it with me. On the Juneteenth, we need to be moving away from, getting excited about, the tricking us with the dance. What do you say about dance and all of that? What is our new word in our community? And I want you to spread it. What is it? Let's say it together. Ownership, ownership, ownership. And by Black, that is how we show that we are truly free here. I understand my wife is finally here. Would you, Maddie, please stand up and let them see. We have been married 53 years plus. And so she kind of does what she want to do, what she want to do, and if she want to do, and I'll leave her alone. Okay.
Y'all give it up again for Mr. Allen!
Hey, we want to thank you all for being here today. Just as we marched in to start this party, Mr. Nebody and the drummers, are y'all ready? We want y'all to march through this market and spend as much money as you want to. Thank y'all so much for coming out today.